Hello, 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 how are you? This is Els Kibney from Bemis Crafty Corner, and today we're going to be doing this. So this was a viewer request for these little corners. You know, you just, you put this on a page, on the corner of a page, like that, and you can use it as a bookmark or just as a decoration. But the video that I was sent, I watched, and then I went and checked out a couple of other ones, and so this is my take on this project. Okay, let me get out some supplies, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll go ahead and make some. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with the original process that was sent to me. And they used some scrap paper. And what the lady did was, basically, she kind of found the middle of a piece of scrap paper. And then she folded it sort of like an envelope. Like this. And then folded it over, and she put adhesive on these two flaps. And then folded this over, and then using her scissors, she cut this, making sure not to cut through the side here. Which gave her this little triangle, and then she trimmed off this bottom fold right there, which gave you this corner that you could then decorate and put onto a page. Okay, so I looked at this and I said, first off, that's kind of wasting paper. One, two, you end up with these cut lines here on the top, and if it's a thicker paper like this one, you can see it's cracked. And I thought, okay, there has to be an easier way to do this. And I came up with envelopes. So even if somebody tears an envelope, you still got at least one, maybe two good corners on that envelope, depending upon, where the vinyl is, So I thought, okay, that's a good idea. And, we've decorated envelopes, and we have all of these little mini envelopes. And I thought, these little ones, I think this is like a 3 by 3, 3.25 by 3.25. You could just glue this down and just cut that straight across, and there you've got two corners. Pretty close to the same thing with these other ones. You just cut it to the size you want, and go across. And as far as these, if you glue down the flap, you could do 4 corners, and you could also use these bags. These little coin bags and coin envelopes and stuff. So that's where I started. So let's get a list of supplies. Obviously, you're going to want adhesive. You're going to want a paper trimmer, some decorations, maybe some, if you're using this kind of an envelope, you're probably going to want some decorated paper for the top of it to cover it up, and whatever embellishments you're going to put on there. So, sorry about the itching my hand things, but the carpal tunnel makes them itch. So, let's do this, shall we? Let's start with the easy one. And that's going to be the 3.25 by 3.25. Let me get this paper trimmer off to the side. So for this one, all you're going to do is just glue this down. Glue it shut. You don't want to put any glue on there, just on that outside edge. Okay? Then once you have that, you're going to put this in your trimmer. I now have two corners, 1 and 2. Okay, so that's that one. For the bag, pretty much going to do the same thing here. We're just going to cut off the corner. So let's find out how wide it is. It is 2 and 5/8. So I'm going to cut it to 2 and 5/8 square. Get rid of that part. And then I'm just going to cut this on the diagonal. That gives me one pocket. And then I have this one here that's kind of a fold open. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue right here. And glue that down. Okay, so now I have this one and that one. Oh. That out of the way. Let's do it with one of these. Same thing as the smaller one. We're just going to glue it shut on the side, down across the top, and down the side here, making sure not to get any glue, you know, inside there. Again, we'll measure the width, which is 2 3/4. We'll cut it to square. Get rid of it, save it, whatever you want to do with it. Cut it on the diagonal. You have one complete one. One that opens. A little bit of glue down the edge. Just a very thin amount of glue. Close that up. And now you have a second one. Okay, so I think you guys are getting the idea here. On these envelopes, all you want to do in an envelope is cut it square as well. And this one is 3 1/2. So I'm just going to cut off 3 1/2. And again, I can make a nice big one right there. And again, I have that triangle that's cut apart. I forgot to close this envelope first, but that's okay. We can do that. Just like that. Close it up. And then open up our triangle. A little bit of glue along the line here. Close that. And there we have another one. And as I said, depending upon, you know, where your envelope here is, you could make another one. Or you can save this for a pocket, but we're going to make another one. So let me go ahead and glue this part down. Glue that down. Cut this end at 3 1/2. Now, I do have one here that has, you know, a little window, and I have a little piece of the window here, but if I cover this, you'll never see that. And if I close this up and I cover this, you're never going to see this either. Okay? So again, just a little bit of glue here. Doop. All right, so I've used all 4 parts of the envelope. That's all I have left. I've used all 4 corners. That's all I have left of that envelope. Okay, same thing, you know, with your decorated envelopes and your bigger bags. Just get your width, cut it down, and then give it a corner. The other thing that you can do, if you really, really want to, you could just close this up. Because nobody said the corner has to be perfectly straight. And just cut at an angle. And now I have one, you know, that'll go on either side of the page. It's a little bit longer. That's okay. All right, so we have a whole bunch of these now. I'm going to go ahead and clear this mess, and then I'll be back, and, you know, we'll do a little decorating. I'll be right back. I don't care. All right, so this is the original one, okay? And, you know, it's cracked and stuff, and we can see that. So let's bring back the original paper, and let's go ahead and grab one of these. We'll do this one. So this one is 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut a square that's 3 by 3. And then I'm just going to cut that at an angle. That's going to give me both sides. So let me grab this one and get this out of the way. And then you're just going to ink this and glue it on. I'm not going to ink today, though, because nobody wants to sit here and watch me ink. They just don't. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Put one on the other side. Whoop. Okay, so now I have basically the same thing, but this one is definitely cleaner. So let's take a look at what we can do with this. So I'm going to go in the little bits box here. And I have some stuff. I love this trim. I have to tell you guys, it is so fun. That. And let's see. Maybe one of these. I'm going to use the bigger one though. So let me just trim that out. Okay. See? Just some pieces out of the little bit box. Alrighty. Make a little bow. We have our little piece of trim here. I'm just going to use my tiny little scissors to kind of clean this up a little. Because there's some pieces. Okay. And we're going to get some glue. Wow, that's a mess. Okay. There we go. Get that cleaned up real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, put a little bit of glue on here. And I'm going to add this. Right there, a little bit more, add this, and I think it needs a sparkly. Alright, I have these leftovers from Halloween. Get a pokey. That out of the way. There. Okay. So simple. It's a little book corner. Now, once that dries, I can turn it over and I can do the other side if I want to. Okay? So that's one way. So let's take a look at another one. Let's do one of these little white ones. And I'll be right back. Okay, so let's do one more. So I have here a white one. This is from one of the white envelopes I just cut. And it's pretty white. It's pretty stark. So we're going to start this one by actually inking. So we're just going to ink the edge. All the way around. And I am going to do both sides. And then I'm going to measure, and this one is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to cut a square. It's 2 3/4. Now this is pretty heavy cardstock. You could use regular paper if you want to. And then I'm going to cut this. It's 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut this at 2 1/2. My apologies. And then I'm going to cut it down the center. Oops. Okay. And this is going to go on there, and it's going to leave just a scant of a lip on there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of ink right along the edge. Now, this is solid core, so it doesn't have that white line, you know, down the center. But I do want it to blend a little bit. So, a little bit of ink. Alright. There we go. I'll put this away for the moment. And then we're going to go ahead and glue these on. Now, it is textured on one side, so I want to make sure that I'm putting the textured side up. These would be cute if you used, like, if you embossed your paper. That would make it even cuter. Alright, that one, and then we're going to put one on the other side. Well, that's different. It got gunked up in the middle. There we go. Okay. So now I have to tell you, this is very thick. And these are card toppers. You know, these are used to help build cards. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this. And this is going to go on the page this way. Let me show you. It's going to go this way on a page. So when I put on the decoration, if I do it this way, not so much with this one, but let's take a look at something else. So let's say this, okay? If we put it here, that's okay. All right? But if we do this and we do it on center, that's how it's going to be on the page at an angle. So be mindful when you do this of what direction, you know, it's going to be on the page. All right. So, don't like that. I have that little bow I tied earlier. A little more glue for the bow. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll be back, and, you know, we'll take a look at what we've got. All right? I'll be right back. All right, so this is the original one as was submitted. And, you know, I suppose if you used regular paper and not cardstock, this may work out. And if you're just trying to use up some paper, this might be a good idea. For me, it just didn't seem, it didn't have that finished quality that you want when you're putting it in a journal, especially something that you're gifting or selling, or, you know, so that is that one. This is the original one that I made. And again, you can see I've oriented the piece so that when you put it on something, you know, it's going in the right direction. I haven't done the back of this one, but I will, you know, eventually. These are the two that we've done. So this is the larger one. Again, we're putting it in. I added this piece to it, and I thought, you know, this is kind of like a tab. I can use it as a tab on a page. And somewhere around here, I actually have piece of paper. Here we go. So if I put this on a page in my journal, would help if I just, you know, there we go. So if I'm putting this on a page in my journal, I can use this as a tab on the page. And then I have this one. I didn't do the back of it, but, you know, again, it just fits on there. It's nice and snug. These don't, you know, they're not easy to, you know, it's not going to fall off. Let's put it that way. So yeah, so that was a viewer submission for a review on a project, and you know, what else, how else could we do it? So that's my take on the corner, and I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below or instant message me. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, go and hit that button for me and subscribe, like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends, and then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I do go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and on Sundays we typically play some kind of a game, trivia, or something like that. Let's see what else. I post videos twice a week, usually on Mondays and Wednesdays, but it could be any day of the week, and it could be more than twice. If you want to know what I've got going on, check out the community tab here on my YouTube channel, or join my Facebook group. There's a link in the description box below, and there you will find a featured listing. And both of those places are going to give you all the who, what, when, where, and why of my digital life. If you want to see if I have a class coming up, if I have a project coming out that maybe you're looking at, you're interested in, you can go there and find out when that is scheduled to come out. If you have a project that you've seen that you would like my take on it, or you would like a different type of a tutorial or something, go ahead and submit the video to me via instant message or YouTube, email. And I will be more than happy to review the video and see if there's something that I can do to change it in some significant way. If I do your project, of course, I'll send you the finished product, and as a thank you. That's it. That's all I have until I see you again. Stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.